Now this is how I see the tiers looking. 4 tiers, more like 3.5. So I still see them having a free tier, but it's more like access to play more free-to-play games. The next tier, which I'm calling the standard tier, will have the bring your own game functionality. But of course, they'll keep game access in-house. You'll be able to play any game you have bought digitally on the Microsoft Store and played on the cloud on all the devices they support up to 60 FPS at 1080p. I'll even throw in a deals and discounts perk for digital games on the store as an incentive. This way, you never go anywhere else. Now for 4K gameplay, I initially made an additional tier called the Super tier, which is the same as the standard tier but just 4K access. Now I decided not to go with this because I know Microsoft is greedy and will put all the top tier options rolled up into one package. So I see them upgrading the Game Pass Ultimate subscription to include 4K support, which will include bringing your own game. Everything or nothing, if you know what I mean. Plus, this is exactly what PlayStation is doing with their PS Plus Premium tier with streaming on the PS5. But Microsoft will have a one-up on PlayStation and support other devices like mobile devices and smart TVs as they do now. Granted, I do see a price increase for the Ultimate tier because of this, to like $30 a month. But now, we truly get to play our Microsoft games however we please on any device. Yes, friends, that was my prediction back in 2023, almost exactly 2 years ago. I was off on a couple of things, but I was basically the only one who saw this coming. If you're interested in seeing this full video, I will leave this here for you to check out. Can you believe I was called crazy back then and it'll never happen? And now, there are rumors that Microsoft is canceling the next Xbox. But no, this isn't true. Someone got ahead of themselves. They have to fulfill their agreement with AMD. Nothing to be worried about, guys. But even my reports from actual developers confirm that the next Xbox is highly tied into Xbox Cloud Gaming. Now, I want to talk about the Game Pass Ultimate tier. Everyone is up in arms about the price increase. The price increase is driving everyone crazy, and rightfully so. But the additional price for Ultimate isn't for the higher resolution of 1440p. At least not yet. It's for the addition of Fortnite Crew and Ubisoft Classics. And apparently, Call of Duty isn't going too well for them, so they're making it up with charging more. That's why Ultimate subscribers get access to the new Call of Duty titles and not Essential or Premium. But I also believe that the price increase is preparation for the even higher resolution of 4K. What do I mean? Remember, we had rumors that they were working on 4K earlier in the year. Plus, with competitor GeForce Now recently being able to stream 5K resolution, Microsoft is definitely playing the catch-up game in this aspect. But as of now, there are some aspects that will be hindering Microsoft with launching 4K streaming. Now, why do I say that 1440p wasn't really part of the price increase? Because right now, they can get away with 1440p because of their current Series S configurations with their Xbox server blades they're using. Remember that the Series S does not support native 4K, so they've been holding out on 1440p until now. But remember, they upgraded to Series X power over 4 years ago. So where is this Series X power? I believe they're about to launch this Series X power to launch 4K. But there are 3 big things Microsoft is probably considering before they launch it. The first thing is power consumption. Activating Series X compatibility would require a lot more electricity from Microsoft data centers. The average Series S power consumption is only 74 watts. While the Series X power consumption is upwards of 220 watts per hour. That's about 3 times the amount of power the Series S is using to run games. That's a huge power jump just to use Series X technology for 4K. I would bet this price increase is preparation for 4K in this aspect. Now, the second thing Microsoft has to consider when going 4K is the additional bandwidth. A higher bitrate is required to produce a quality 4K stream. We've already noticed with 1440p that the bitrate has increased as well, but it's nothing significant. For a solid 4K stream, they would need to give us at least 40 megabits per second or higher. That's a lot of bandwidth that would potentially be used by 4K users. To counter this, I would expect them to activate the AV1 video codec so they could start saving bandwidth, and they could probably save up to 40 to 50% bandwidth using this AV1 codec. Boosteroid is doing the same thing on the browser, but this also requires adequate hardware on the user side to do this. So this leads me into the third issue with 4K streaming, and probably my biggest point: device compatibility. Now hear me out on this one. I think I might be really onto something. Remember when Nvidia launched 4K streaming on GeForce Now? It was when they offered the RTX 3080 tier before it was called the Ultimate tier. If you remember, most users and devices had 1440p access, but if you had an Nvidia Shield TV Pro, you could stream games at 4K up to 60 FPS. What if Microsoft is planning to do the exact same thing? What if they're planning to finally revive the Xbox Keystone, the cloud-only console that was shelved a couple of years ago? They shelved it because AV1 encoding and decoding wasn't readily available or cheap. But now it is, and much cheaper than it was years ago. We see tons of devices that now support the AV1 codec. Remember what Microsoft said back in May when they raised the console prices the first time? Looking ahead, we continue to focus on offering more ways to play more games across any screen and ensuring value for players. I imagine this holiday or even later in 2026, this would be a great time to launch the updated Xbox Keystone that would be the first device that supports Xbox 4K streaming, just like the Shield TV Pro was for GeForce Now. This would be a great alternative to the very expensive next-generation console that is slated for launch in 2027, and apparently the price increases of the current consoles because they can't stop raising them. Get all the benefits of the Series X and next gen in the future purely in the cloud. I also see the Keystone supporting multiple controllers for local couch play, and I see it being around $150. Food for thought. So there could be a big marketing incentive for Microsoft to wait for 4K. Now that Xbox Cloud is out of beta, they could be going full on into the cloud since they keep saying they're looking for other affordable ways to keep you playing. Pairing a Game Pass Ultimate subscription on top of the Xbox Keystone doesn't sound so bad anymore when you hear rumors that the next-gen Xbox hardware will be over $1,000. So what do you think? Am I out of my mind? My track record is pretty good here, just saying. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. And if you like my overview of the current situation of Xbox, Game Pass, and the cloud, give us a like. Also, make sure to join as a member of the channel or join our Patreon and our Discord in the links below. And above all else, make sure to subscribe to keep it locked right here at the only place we can do battle in gaming heaven, Cloud Gaming Battle.